So for my project, I asked myself the question, what is the relationship between humans and nature? And so I kind of asked some larger questions before they get into my final question. And some of them were, what is nature? What is humanity's place in nature? What powers does nature have over us and us over nature? And finally, how do people respond to changes in their environment, and what role does nature play in it? So I was really looking to how, when there were really sudden changes in someone's life, and how they really responded to it. So the first book I read was The Old Man and the Sea. It's by Ernest Hemingway, and it's a tale of an old man named Santiago. He has a really hard time, and he goes for 84 days without catching a single fish. And one day he just feels really lucky, and he goes out for a trip, and he catches a marlin that is larger than anyone has ever seen. And the tale follows him as he brings it back. And the nature that he's fighting against is the power of the sea. And as we all know, that's very powerful. So he catches a marlin, and he attributes a lot of it to God. He thinks it, but really that's not really associated at all with the ocean. So when he brings it back, he loses basically all the fish to scavengers and predators like sharks. And through the whole thing, he goes through a lot of hardships. Like dehydration, exhaustion, starvation. So again, it attracts all these predators, and the sharks start just eating out of the marlin, and he tries to defend it with his harpoons and his knife, and he loses all of them eventually, and he's down to his oar, and then he breaks that as well. So he's completely defenseless against these sharks, and really he just lets them eat away at his marlin. And by the time he returns to port, there's nothing left. So all he has is his carcass, just a skeleton. Nothing more than the tail. And so, again, he just started as a poor fisherman with nothing much. He had incredible good luck to catch an incredible marlin, but it was to no avail because he lost all in the end in that whole trip, just because nature's really indifferent to who you are. And so in Trinity Port, nothing really changed. He lost his tools. It's just it's kind of a sad tale. The second book I read was The Pearl by John Steinbeck. It's quite a similar story. It's about a man named Kino and his wife. They're both also poor, living in a coastal fishing village. And what happens is he finds the pearl of the world. It's larger than one has ever seen. And really he also has a series of unfortunate events that follows him with his son, Good Luck. I found this video, it doesn't really do that good job. Someone else put it together. There hasn't been a real movie. So what happens is he has a son. His name's Coyotito, and he's stung by a scorpion. And so they go to a doctor and they ask him for help, but he doesn't help them because they have no money. And so the next day he goes out pearl fishing as he normally does, and he finds this pearl of the worlds. What happens is the doctor hears about it and he's really greedy, and so he does agree to go and help. But when he comes, he sees that the son has already started healing by himself. So when he pretends to give him a treatment, it makes him worse before making him better. He kind of tries to pull favor with the family. And then what happens is he tries to go and sell it, but all the pearl buyers have collaborated to kind of cheat him, and they offer him like a tiny fraction of what it's truly worth. And so he refuses because they're all trying to cheat him. But after his refusal, just random like assassins show up to like either steal or kill him, and then steal the pearl, because it's basically talked about as almost valueless. So he talks about all the things that he might have had. He dreams, primarily an education for his son, to marry his wife, and have a baptism of the church, because where that was, it costed a significant amount of money to do that. But God, it's kind of like a symbol of strength and then obviously better quality of life. But instead, he loses his son, his fishing boat, which was passed on from like his grandfather's, and his home, which was burned down, and basically transferred to normal life. He was eventually, after they burned down his home, he had to run away with his wife, and there were trackers following him, and they killed his son, but he managed to kill all of them. It's pretty, I don't know. So just as Santiago from the Old Man's Sea, he starts as a very poor and in a low social class. Basically, when he had the pearl, everyone was jealous of it. Everyone changed in their behavior. Everyone became greedy to have it. While it was a symbol of great wealth, it kind of was evil. It changed everyone around him to be something that they really weren't. And so, as a result, everyone kind of lost something from it. And so, I said, it was neither good nor evil, but rather it's a neutral force that just changes people around it, because they're maybe, I made this Venn diagram of sorts. Really, for aspects that are completely identical is the ocean that they live next to is the Gulf of Mexico. They're all really poor and lower class individuals, and they have a moment of sudden good luck. They see it as a great opportunity, but really they lose more because of it. And in both cases, it came from the ocean, and it was returned to the ocean. Kino threw the pearl back into the ocean because he saw that it only brought evil and hardship for them. So this is for Santiago, he lived in Cuba, while Kino's in Central America. The nature kind of aspect for Old Man's Sea was the ocean, and it was greed for the pearl. I suppose one interesting thing was that with Santiago, he had kind of a respect for the sharks that were chasing him. He kind of respected the force of nature, while Hino really had no respect for his opponents. All the assassins, he saw them as cowardly. The doctor and the pearl traders were all like sly and deceitful almost.